Hi there. This is Vision Eternity Ministries, and my name is Lee Klein. Jesus is sharing with us how he feels as he's separating us before his return from those who love him and those who don't. He is grieving of those who don't. And this is don't love him. And this word from him today is to show us our error and our reluctancy to really seek after him and know him and prepare for him. This is a real deal. He's really coming, and he just is grieved at how we're just letting this time pass us by without seeking him. Just having this surface relationship with him. Let's acknowledge him, Jesus. Go ahead and just reveal to us today how you feel. Just take over my voice, Lord. Just use me. I'm your vessel, and I want to say your heart. I want to go ahead and just say what you want to say. We love you and praise you. We give you all the glory. We have an ear to hear what the Spirit is saying to us today. In your name. And so really, we have to have that ear to hear. We have to be listening. I want to read this to you. In Isaiah 29, he's been talking to me about this for a couple of weeks. And today he wanted me to share it with you. I'm going to start in verse 10. And For the Lord has poured out on you the spirit of deep sleep, and he has closed your eyes, the prophets and your heads, the seers, he has covered and muffled. And he goes into explaining why. And the vision of all has become for you. The vision of all this has become for you like the words of a book that is sealed. When men give it to one who can read, saying, read this, I pray you. And he says, I cannot, for it's sealed. And when the book is given to him who is not learned, saying, read this, I pray you, he says, I cannot read. And the Lord said, for so much as this people draw near to me with their mouth and honor me with their lips, but remove their hearts and minds far from me, and their fear and reverence for me are a commandment of men that is learned by repetition without any thought or meaning. Therefore, behold, I will again do marvelous things with this people, marvelous and astonishing things, and the wisdom of their wise men will perish, and the understanding of their discerning men will vanish or be hidden. Woe to you who seek to hide deep from the Lord their counsel, whose deeds are in the dark, and who say, who sees us, who knows us? What the Lord is saying to us today, I think you already caught on, is that we're not seeking him with our whole heart, that we're just letting this time pass without knowing him, just knowing of him, just going through the motions. And he's grieved. He's hurt. And he said that we draw near to him with our mouth and honor him with our lips, but remove our hearts. And when he said, when I read this, it says that when men give one who can read, when men give it to one who can read, saying, read this, I pray you, he says, I cannot, for it is sealed. And I feel like God was saying to me, it's an excuse. We have an excuse for everything. And then the next one said, I can't read. And there's so many that say that. I can't read. I can't understand it. And so they pretty much quit and give up. But what did he say? Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open to you. What father, if his son asked for bread, would give him a snake? God wants to be sought after. Seek me and you will find me. He's the most important person right now that you could be seeking and following after, spending your time with, now and forever and before. I don't mean just now, but it's vital now because his return is soon. And he's separating us from those who love him and those who don't. And he's telling you this today. So you know that you don't really love him. And if you love him, you're going to obey him. You're going to bow down to him. You're going to worship and honor him. If you love him, it's because you sought after him. You found him. You found that precious pearl. And you realize he's worth it. He's worth it all. And nothing else is. He is so distraught at what is about to happen. And I don't know the time. I don't know the hour. I don't know the day. He just keeps telling me over and over again, tell them I'm coming. There's not much time. And so that's what I've been doing. I don't even know how many years, 4 or 5 years. And the first day, he made it so real to me. The first thing that I remember that he said is, I thought I had lots of time. And he said, I'm coming sooner than you think. You don't have that much time. I'm coming sooner than you think. Because, I was procrastinating, putting things off and having excuses not to open the book. And then he showed me again, audibly, that he was coming and I'd be late if I didn't start getting it together. And it scared me. And then I procrastinated more, and he scared me again audibly, saying, it's time. The hour of Jesus has come. The hour of Jesus has come. It's the hour before he comes. And there's not much time to get ready. He said he was frustrated and that I needed to obey him. And I'm going to keep telling this over and over again. And actually the day that I had quit, I got frustrated. I was rejected at church. I was rejected and asked to be quiet everywhere I went. And I asked God, can I just sit in the back and be quiet like everyone else? And he said, then why go? You're a prophet. Why go? And everywhere I went, I was rejected. So that was my excuse to quit. And he said, keep going, even though they're not listening, right? Isn't that what the word says? They hear, but they don't hear. How long, Lord, until the earth is desolate? You don't have much time to get ready. And I am the voice. I'm the vessel to tell you that. And who cares if you're ready ahead of time? Which you won't be. It doesn't hurt to get ready ahead of time, right? If you're ready ahead of time, then you're ready. And somebody say, well, I'm ready. I have a church. I go to church. That doesn't make you ready. Only Jesus can tell you if you're ready. Only he knows the one. Only he knows if you're the one doing his will. I still have things on my list that I haven't done yet. And he reminds me, because I ask him to keep reminding me. But don't be so lazy as to not open the book or get on your face and say, what do I have to do to be ready? Find out what you have to do to be ready. Don't be prideful. Don't play this game with him and assume that you know more than he is telling you, more than you've listened. Assuming you know and you don't know. Well, you're saying, well, I can't hear him. That's because you're not listening. If you're willing to be corrected, you will hear him. If you don't hear him, that means you've been ignoring him. It's not too late to get in the right line. The sheep and the goats, you know the parable. Get in the right line. He's separating even now before he comes. If you don't love him, if you're not obeying him, then of course you don't hear him because you're rejecting him. Not that he's not still calling out to you right now, he is. But if you keep rejecting him and rejecting him, he's going to get quieter and quieter. You have to say, correct me, Lord. Show me. On that day, you don't want to hear him say, away from me, I never knew you. You want to hear him correct you now, and it hurts. It's like a spanking, and you feel bad, but you got time to get it together. It's not too late. On that day when he comes, it's too late. Maybe you'll leave here before he comes. You still have to be ready to stand before him. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open. He poured out his spirit of deep sleep, and he's closed your eyes, the prophets, and your heads, the seers, he has covered and muffled. And the vision of all has become for you like the words of a book that are sealed. When men give it to one who can read, saying, read this, I pray you, he says, I cannot, for it is sealed. And when the book is given to him who is not learned, saying, read this, I pray you, he says, I cannot read. For so much as these people draw near to me with their mouth, and honor me with their lips, but remove their hearts and minds from me, and their fear and reverence for me are commanded of men, that is learned by repetition, without any thought as to the meaning. Behold, I will again do a marvelous things of this people, marvelous and astonishing things, and the wisdom of their wise men will perish, and the understanding of their discerning men will vanish and be hidden. Woe to those who seek to hide deep from the Lord their counsel, whose deeds are in the dark, who say, who sees us? Who knows us? He's sharing his heart. He's telling us things to come. He's saying, I'm in love with you. I don't want you to perish. But you're not listening. You're not paying attention. You're just going through the motions. But where's your heart? You don't care for me. You're not listening. You're distracted. You haven't asked me. You haven't even asked me if you're ready for me to come. You think you know it all, saith the Lord. You're not teachable. And then that day, I'll have to say I didn't know you, you who practice lawlessness. Matthew 7:21 through 23. Not everyone who calls me Lord will enter into the kingdom of heaven. And many will say on that day, but Lord, we did this, we did that in your name. And he's going to say, I didn't know you, away from me, you who disregard my Father's command. You know, just talking about forgiveness. Just talking about that. He loves. His heart is to love. His heart aches to love and for us to love one another. That's who he is. It's not even something I can explain. But if you have that relationship with him, you know that's the most important thing that you would do is to love your neighbor. Second most. First is love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind. And when you do that, you're going to care about what he cares about. And you're going to love your neighbor. And you're going to hear him say, love your neighbor. Do this thing. And then when you love him, you're going to be able to forgive because you can see his heartbreak when you won't. Even if that person's in the wrong, right? Look at Jesus. He wants you to love with an unconditional love that doesn't keep track, that doesn't end. It's a lifestyle. And so to love is pleasing to him. And if you won't, you're breaking his heart. Not only because you won't, because you will perish. And so unforgiveness is not okay. But because many don't know his heart, they think it's okay. They give excuses. And that's what he's saying. You're drawing near to me with your lips, but you have no idea the pain I endure when you won't forgive. When you won't even consider what I think or how I feel. When you don't even get up and say, how are you today, Lord? Is there anything I can do for you? Is it just all about you? If it is, you're hurting him. When you won't forgive someone, then you really don't know the Lord. And I hear a lot of times people say, I forgive, but I won't forget. But that's not what the word says. It says to forget it, to let it go, let it drop. Just let it go, just like that. Just don't hold that person accountable, as Jesus didn't. And so that's the word that I have for you today. He wants you to care about what he cares about and realize that your lip service, your actions without your heart don't count. You can call him Lord, go to church, and put on this big facade, but he sees what you're doing. And maybe today you feel confronted. If not, get on your knees and say, do I need counsel? Do I need correction? Correct me. I humble myself before you. I humble myself before you. I'll do anything you tell me to do. Just be humble. Just say anything, Lord. Tell me how you feel. Tell me what you're going through. What do I mean by that? In the day of Noah, he said he forgot about Noah for 5 months. The water swept everyone away. Don't think that didn't hurt him to have to do that. They're his children. And now he's coming, and the earth is going to burn. And those who won't choose him will not be saved. You got to find a place to live, and you got to choose now. Remember, he said, till the earth is desolate. Keep telling him over and over again, till the earth is desolate. Only those who choose him, who really love him, who know him, not of him, those who are really seeking him, not those who are just trying to get by and hope they make it and don't take the time to seek him, to find, to know him. Those people aren't going to make it. You can call him Lord, but if you're faking it, he sees that. And if you disregard his command, then you don't love him. If you never asked Jesus to come live on the inside of you, that's all you got to do. He said in Revelation 3:20, he said that if you heed his voice, he'll come and live on the inside of you. He'll be your God. He'll teach you. He'll counsel you. He'll lead you in salvation. To salvation. You'll fall in love with him. That's the whole thing. If you heed his voice, you're going to fall in love with him. You're going to fall in love with him, and you're going to hear him when you let him correct you. And then, when you let him correct you, and you get to know him, and you hear him, you're just going to fall more and more in love with him and know him more and more. Let's acknowledge him. Say this prayer with me. Jesus, come and live on the inside of me. Come. Be my God. Teach me. I commit to do your will. I don't want to live this fake life. I don't want to go to hell. I want to be with you forever. I want to prove my love to you by caring about you, asking about you, being in touch with your feelings. We love you, Jesus. We praise you and thank you for telling us before it's too late that we're not right with you. We give you all the glory. Read Revelation 3:19 in the Amplified Bible, and make sure that you're letting him correct you. So on that day, you're not going to hear him say, I didn't know you. Just make sure. Every day, say, correct me, teach me, and then help me to do your will. Thank you so much for listening today. And if you made Jesus Lord of your life today, if I impacted your life in any way, I would so love to know. God bless you.